Okay, in this video we're going to attempt to show you a bit more of the behind the scenes detail of the parking sensor system on the Range Rover Sport from 2005 up until 2013. So, right, a couple of things. Right, so we've already done some videos on this, but this is a little bit more detailed in where it works behind the scenes. So if you go into the rear of your car, so this is in the rear, and you remove the rear side trim, and we'll do a video how to do that, it exposes your parking sensor module. Now, interestingly, if you have the base model car without parking sensors, you'll probably still find this wiring loom is here. So it's not this one here, it's this unit here, and basically it's got three connectors going into it at the base there. I'll show you how to disconnect those in a moment. One of them will go to the front parking sensor loom, the other will go to the rear parking sensor loom, and the third one will connect to the main car loom, which connects to the main ECU. The parking sensor system on them is relatively self-contained. It's pretty much controlled by this module here. So then your front loom comes a lot, your rear loom comes up, and it comes up inside where the rear light. So if we remove the rear corner light here, Tom, can you just move that light round behind it? Okay, and so what you can do if you ever want to do some debugging, if you remove the rear light on the left hand side of the car as you're looking at the rear, you will find the parking sensor loom connector. Now let me just check which one we've got here, because I've got a couple of things lying around here. It's this one here. Okay, and that will normally be plugged in to the connector, this one here, which comes from the rear bumper where your parking sensors are fitted. Okay, so we've got a 2010 bumper on here, but they're all the same. The parking sensors are all in the same sort of position. You've got 4 of them in the bumper. Okay, now the early and late parking sensors have different connectors, and you need a different bumper loom if you're changing to those. But they can all run on the same controller. Now, what you can do, and this is quite a good tip if you're planning on changing your rear parking sensors or you're having problems, is to actually, and we've simulated it here, we've actually taped a parking sensor loom with the parking sensors just onto the rear bumper. You can just run it along, and then you can plug it in. Where have we left that connector, Tommy? Come on top of the light. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that all coming along here to the connector. So if you're not sure about the compatibility, it's probably worth just swapping, just plugging that in. Actually, I can do that. Sorry, it's not good on the video, but I'm trying to. Tom's holding the light. So, right, so we can plug that in, unplug the loom, and now we can fault find what we've got here just on the back of the car. So rather than having to take your bumper off to check if your new lube and parking sensors are compatible, I would recommend that you just plug it into the car. Obviously make sure your car's all working with the original ones, and then you can plug that in. Now I will do a next bit of this video, and we'll explain some things of how to, the different modules that they fitted. But one thing I wanted to show you quickly was on the early parking sensors, you could actually hear them go if you put your ear next to them. But on the later type parking sensors, the slightly smaller ones, the ones we've got here, you can't actually hear any noise emitted from them audibly. So one thing you can get is you can actually get a ultrasound sensor here. So we've got an ultrasound sensor. You can find these on eBay and the internet. Sometimes they're advertised as bat sensors, bat finders, but this one is actually a parking sensor one. And Tom will just Tom, could you activate the parking sensors? And I'll just, so normally if you just press the on button on this one, you just get a single red light. But if I put it near an ultrasound source, okay, it should go up, and you can see there that's recording some activity. So a parking if you got suspicions that your parking sensors are faulty, if you take it to your local garage, or if you purchase one of those parking sensor ultrasound sensors. That's a good idea. Now what we've got it activated, I'll use Tom as a model here, Tom. So if you want to approach the car, and you'll see the tone will change. Okay, and you can go away and you can see that activate. Okay, and the tone goes solid as you get closer. Now you can actually check each sensor in turn here on the car, like this, and check each one's working. Now if you're changing from changing to the later parking sensors, there does seem to be a slight difference in the sensitivity on the later models. So what you can do is you can change the control box. If you're finding all the parking sensors are working but the sensitivity is not right, you can change the module. So the module, so I'll just show you how to remove the parking sensor module. So if I pass the camera over to Tom, and I'll just jump in the way here. Okay, so there's basically just two Phillips screws, crosshead screws, holding the module onto the rear there. So that's the one. Okay, now, so this is the module. This is actually the Land Rover part number. So this is a 2005 module, right? And to remove the connectors, you just push in that little indent on each of them, and then remove them like so. Just pull that. Now, two of them look the same, but they're actually not. It is foolproof. You can't put these connectors back in the wrong way. If you look here, these two are the ones that are the same size. It's got these two shoulders right on the corners on the black one, and on the other one they're inset a little bit, so that it's totally foolproof. So if we just go over onto the bench here, I'll show you what we've got here. So what we've got here, hopefully we've got them in order. That's the 2005 parking sensor module. This is the 2005 to 2009 module, and then this is the later 2010. Now, as you can see, or maybe not, they all look the same. Okay, they've got different part numbers on them. Okay, yep, and the connectors, if you look at that shot there, the connectors are all the same, so you can actually swap them. Okay, now from our experience, we've ordered all these from Land Rover and we've tried them all. And what we found is the 2010, oh gosh, I'm going to be like a magician here. Right, the 2010 module doesn't work on cars before 2010. Okay, the 2005 to 2009 and the original 2005 one, these and any in between these dates, you can swap them round. Now what we found is that the later one that they did, this one here, is slightly less sensitive and seems to cope with the new type parking sensors slightly better. So the only advice I can give you is that if you are having problems with your parking sensor sensitivity and you have the parking sensor module ending in 312, then I would recommend that you upgrade to this parking sensor module YWC 500730. Okay, the one you don't want, if you've got the early car, is the later one that hasn't even got a Land Rover part number on the front. Okay, so hope that helps you sort out any compatibility issues you've got with your parking sensors and the like.